Good morning, Patriots. Crazy Hawk 99 here, aka today Black Bart, coming at you from Miss Kitty's Kitchen. I want to talk to you about a couple fun plinkers that I picked up not too long ago. The pistol I've had for a while, the carbine I got recently, and they're made by Heritage Manufacturing. You've probably seen some of their guns before in the stores, and there are tons of videos out there on them. But I wanted to give my limited small audience an overview and my take on these particular firearms. So we'll start with the handgun first. This is an inexpensive holster I picked up. I don't remember if it was eBay or Amazon, but I think it's made in Mexico. Gets the job done. First one up is the 6-shooter. This is a 22 long rifle pistol made by Heritage Manufacturing, and this particular one I believe has a 4 3/4 inch barrel on it. A pretty attractive gun, really. I mean, you're not talking. Don't mistake me. You're not talking Colt or even Uberti or Pieta fit and finish by any means, but it's got attractive rosewood grips on it. The fit on the grips to the frame is not the greatest, to be honest with you, but the price point on these guns we'll talk about later. But for the price point you're looking at here, you're not going to get that kind of custom fitting anyway. But let's talk about the construction of the gun first. It's a nice looking gun. The finish on it, I don't know. I believe the barrel is blued because it's got a nice sheen to it, and the cylinder I'm thinking is nitrided, maybe. It might be blued. It is steel, obviously, the cylinder, but the frame on these guns is not steel, so it's definitely not blued. I believe it's, I think they call it a Zamac or something, some kind of alloy. It's definitely an alloy. It's not, the frame is not magnetic. The barrel is. The ejection rod shroud is not either. That's either aluminum or another type of an alloy there. And if you're not familiar with finishes on firearms, you cannot blue aluminum or an alloy. It has to be a good steel before it'll take a blue. So the frame, being the trigger guard and all the way up around here, is not steel, to include the back strap. But that doesn't take away from it really for the price point. And again, we'll talk about the price point in a little while. This particular one is a 22 long rifle, 6-round capacity. They also come in 9-round capacity, and they also are compatible with 22 Magnum rimfire cylinders. So you can just, if some of them come with both cylinders, some only come with the long rifle, some of them only come with the Magnum cylinder. This one, I only have the long rifle cylinder, but on their website, you can purchase additional cylinders for them, and you can just drop in this 22 long rifle, you can just drop a 22 mag cylinder in it and go to town and go shooting, no issues. The cylinders on them, on their website, I made some notes here. They run about, depending on which one you're getting, $35 to $40, I believe, for a cylinder, maybe even down to $29, I can't remember. And you can also get them with engraved cylinders, and they have different designs, Indian type designs, cowboy designs, you name it. They have, their website has a plethora of accessories and add-ons you can put on these. And that's kind of a nice feature. I talked about these with the rosewood grips. You'll see so many different variations of these in a store that it will boggle the mind, between the barrel lengths and the grip configuration, with engraving, without engraving, the finish on the firearm. There is a myriad of options available, and there's a huge following of these firearms because they're so inexpensive, so affordable, that there's a certain amount of attractiveness to that, because you can have a lot of fun for very little money. And I find this one to be very reliable so far. Now, so we talked about cylinder options. Finish, like I said, this one's a blue type of finish. Obviously the frame's not bluing, but it's probably a black Cerakote of some type. It has a attractive shine to it. But they come Cerakoted in different colors. Some with the frame one color, the barrels other colors. You name it. Like I said, there's tons of different options out there. This one has just a notch rear sight and a post front or a blade type front sight. You cannot dry fire, or you can dry fire this, but you should not. It will ultimately damage the firing pin or frame, and it says so in the manual. Now, I'm going to say right off the bat, one of the things I don't care for on these, and I've probably mentioned it before, is unlike any other single action I've ever shot in my going on 60 years, they have a manual safety. I don't know why they felt it necessary to put a manual safety on a single action revolver, but they do. They did. And so it's right here. It's this little, I don't know, you'll be able to see it. Right now it's in the safe position, so it's positioned up. You take this little lever. I'm using the wrong hand, but I'd be over here. And you just rotate it down. There's a red dot showing you now it's in the fire position. So if it's up here in the safe position, you can still operate the action. You can still pull the trigger and the hammer will fall. It just will not make contact. So there's some type of a block out there. Of all the things I don't like about this gun, and I like the gun, but of all the things I don't like about it, I really would love to see options without these on there, but I'm guessing this decreased their manufacturing liability quite a bit. But again, it's a single action, so if you leave the safe on, or the safety off rather, I should say, which you can do, just leave it off if you want. People are not necessarily going to use the safety, so I don't know why it's on there. And some people take to remove them. I haven't done that because it will leave a empty spot here where this thing's supposed to be, and I think that won't be any more attractive than it is now. So that's really the big negative I have on it. It's fairly accurate for what you get with the rear ramp, or not ramp, but slot in the frame type of deal. It's not going to be real accurate, obviously, but it's pretty accurate given the rudimentary traditional style sights on it. But what else can we say about this? Barrel links. Okay, so they make this in a million variations. Barrel links is one of them. They make a barkeep model, which is basically just a short barrel, a 1, 2, or 3 inch barrel. Now, why you would want a revolver with a 1 inch barrel? But there's somebody out there that does, because they make it. But so 1 to 3 inches in the barkeep model, and this is a Rough Rider. I probably failed to mention that. That's the name of this particular gun. This revolver is a Rough Rider, and in this one they make barrel lengths all the way from, I'm going to refer to my notes, 3 inches. 3 inches, it says 4, 6, 9, 12, and 16, but this, and it doesn't say 4 3/4, which this is 4 3/4. It doesn't say, 6.5, when I've seen 6.5s online. So anyway, barrel lengths from 3 to 16 inches. They make a 12-inch barrel version as well. I think they're kind of goofy, but to each their own. And they make a 16-inch barrel as well. Again, to each their own. Price point on these is anywhere from the MSRP now is anywhere from about $170 to about $240, I think. Yeah, $240, somewhere in that neighborhood. And that's the $240 is, and this is MSRP. The $240, I believe, that I pulled up online was, and this was just the MSRP, was the Wyatt Earp edition. So it had a simulated color case hardened frame, which you can't color case harden this alloy, but it simulated that look, and it had a 12-inch barrel, and it had these cool Wyatt Earp engraved wood grips on it. So it looked really nice. MSRP on that was $240. You could get that a lot cheaper if you could find one. This one you can probably expect to pay about $125 for this particular version, maybe even down to $100. You never know. I mean, these aren't expensive, and you'll find them on various websites fairly competitively priced for sure. I'm going to say price point, barrel length. I think that's most of it. Their website is got tons of options. You can get different grips. You can get really cool Don't Tread on Me or patriotic things, or you name it, Indian motif, or cowboy motif grips, simulated pearl, simulated ivory, all that stuff, simulated stag grips. Now I'll say that they have a lot of wood options to include engraved ones. They also have a lot of other options that are not wood. They're a plastic stock or a plastic grip, rather. If that bothers you, keep that in mind. But and the grips run, I don't know if I wrote that down, $25 to $30 for the grips for a pair of those. And you can see it, you can find them used on eBay and other places like that, because people will customize their gun and they'll put different grips on it and they'll sell their old ones or whatever. But from the prices I've seen people asking for used ones, you might as well just almost buy the new ones from Heritage. Heritage's website also has holsters, competitively priced. I want to say a holster for this, not to include the belt, but a holster for this, they're asking about $40. I didn't look up the belt. And so tons of stuff on their website, and it's pretty cool in that regard. So that's the Rough Rider. And from there, we'll go to this one, and this is their Rancher. Pardon me while I take a sip. This is their Rancher. So basically what this is, it's a Rough Rider with a 16-inch barrel and a buttstock. So it's a carbine, or a rifle, if you will, instead of a handgun. Now, picture this: if you didn't put the stock on, you just had a grip here. They make this same without the sling. Now you got to picture it. They make this Rough Rider right here with that barrel. To each their own, to each their own. I'm sure it's fun to shoot. It's obviously it'd be more accurate than that one, because the sight radius is so much longer that it's easier to make an accurate shot. But yeah, this thing is pretty fun as well. And other than what you're looking at here, it's got a really nice looking walnut finish with checkering on the sides. The fit on the butt plate to the stock is very nice. It's perfect, really. Not so much up here. The stock's a little proud of the frame tang, but if a guy really cared that much, you could sand your stock down and work your stock down and restain it. But that's a lot of work for something this inexpensive. Fit and finish on this, other than the stock, let's just talk about the barrel. The barrel is very similar. I also believe this is probably a blued barrel. The construction is the same as the Rough Rider. The frame is also an alloy. There's no magnetization here on the frame, only when you get to the cylinder and the hammer and all that. So the construction is the same. The finish on this one, on the frame, doesn't look as nice as it does on the Rough Rider, and that's probably a quality control issue. It's a little mottled looking. It's smooth, but it's not. The finish just doesn't look great. It doesn't look horrible or anything, don't get me wrong. Let's see what else we can talk about. Same safety on this rascal, baffles my mind. Now this is called the Rancher, and it comes in two basic versions. One is as pictured here with these buckhorn adjustable rear sights. Is a ramp type of sight that you can adjust, and then a blade front, and a sling, nice leather sling, high quality leather sling appears to be, and the sling swivels. They also make the same carbine without the sling swivels, and it doesn't have this buckhorn sight on it. It just has a notched rear. Matter of fact, this one has the notch in it. If you were to not have this sight, you'd be able to shoot it. And the price point on those is, for this version, they're asking $340 MSRP. For the stripped down version with no sling and no ramp or buckhorn sights, they're asking $300 MSRP. Now, how much cheaper can you get them? Just to give you an idea, I think I paid $335 for this one. No, I'm sorry. Let me back up. $235 for this one. So heck, over $100 less than MSRP. And at the time, Heritage had a $30 rebate, which I've not yet received in the mail, but I expect to. So basically, I'll have $200 in this, and you can't go wrong for that. What I would like to see So let me talk about options on this one on the website. Same thing, you can drop a 22 mag cylinder here. This one's only a long rifle. You can get the engraved cylinders, all that stuff. They don't come with different finishes on the firearm like the Rough Riders do or the Barkeeps do, but you get engraved cylinders or a 22 mag cylinder for it, whatever. And they also offer a nice leather scabbard for this to slide into, which is kind of cool. I don't have one of those because I don't have anything to attach the scabbard to, so it's kind of silly to have a scabbard. What I would like to see, if Heritage is watching, is this butt plate is plastic. Now, don't get me wrong, it looks fine, it is functional, but I would like to see an optional brass butt plate. This isn't a firearm that's going to hurt you anyway, so you don't really care too much about that as far as recoil goes. It's not going to have any. But I would like to see, it would really, I think, class this up a little bit to put a brass butt plate on here that was nicely fitted. And if not brass, or maybe even in addition to brass, I'll offer a black steel option. Would look nice on here with a nice blue type finish on it. But other than that, that's about all I've got on these. There's probably something I forgot to mention. If you've got questions, oh, I did say one thing, the sling. So you can, but you shouldn't use this sling in a traditional supported method like this because it's a revolver. And if you know anything about revolvers, you should never shoot a revolver with a part of your body, beam the gap in the slide, in the frame and the, let me back up, between the barrel gap, between the cylinder and the barrel or the forcing cone, because you'll get some gases and sometimes even little pieces of lead will splatter out of there and you can get hurt. If nothing, at the minimum, it'll be discomforting and you could get hurt. So you don't want to shoot it, you wouldn't want to shoot it like this, you wouldn't want to shoot it like this because that's got your hand in it. So that's why they have this here. You're going to line up here and you got this little notch here for your support hand. You can pull it into your shoulder really tightly like that and shoot it. So the sling, you can't use for stabilizing purposes, but you can use it for transportation when you want to, walk through the woods or whatever. You can just throw it over your back, sling it, and go. And it's, like I said, it's a nice looking sling, and it's functional in that capacity. So if you could live without the buckhorn sights, and you don't think you're going to be carrying this thing around in the woods, then you could save a decent amount of money by going with the stripped down version. I would also note that they sell different special editions of this. They're not on their website, but I've seen them. One has the Texas flag engraved in the stock, the butt stock, and I think there's a couple other different ones I've seen too that are kind of neat. Those are special editions. If you find them in stock somewhere and you're interested, get it, because those are things that don't come back around. I considered getting the Texas one because one of my sons lives in Texas and was, and I thought, well, when I'm not here anymore, that'd be nice for him to have, but he's just going to have to engrave it himself. So, heck, I think that's about it. Shucks. I just want to get a little bit more back into the fun factor of this. I'm not going to get away from ARs. I love ARs and more modern handguns as well. But there's something fun that brings out the kid in you to shoot a 22 long rifle, particularly a single action revolver, and it's still cost effective. You can get one of these for probably $100, a little more, and you can still fire these things for under 10 cents a round. Like I think 6 to 8 cents is what 22 long rifle is going for now. That's still affordable. Shooting an AR or even a 9mm these days is not near as much fun as it used to be because it doesn't take long for your wallet to start getting pretty light. But you can shoot this thing all day long and not put a dent in your budget or in your your budget. But hope you all found this interesting. Please, I know I forgot something. I don't know what it is. I'll hopefully do some shooting videos with these and roll that in to the end and re-upload it or something like that. But until then, drop your questions down below or your comments. This hat is killing me. I've had this hat forever, and I don't know if my head's gotten bigger or the hat has shrunk, but it's kind of uncomfortable right now. We'll have another video coming up later today, so stay tuned. This one won't be as much fun because it's going to be more addressing tyrannical overreach. Hope you all have a great day, and we'll see you on the next one.